What's up, everybody? We're back with another episode of Bullish Chips, where we use a proven and repeatable strategy to make money every day. This channel happens to focus on the Bullish Semiconductor ETF, which goes by the ticker symbol SOXL, but the charting and trading method that we use can be implemented with any company that's publicly traded in the U.S. stock market. So make sure you hit the like button if you haven't already. Hit that subscribe and notification button as well. That way you're alerted to when we release new videos. Really helps the channel grow, and thanks to all those who continue to tune in. Thanks to those who are new to the channel, and welcome. Tonight's video, like most nightly and weekend videos, we'll go over the triggers and targets for trades ranging from scalps and intraday trades all the way up through swings and leap trades as well. So if you need a little bit of help with the charts and you want a deeper dive into exactly how we set up our charts with the broadening formations, levels of support and resistance, things of that nature, make sure you check out the bonus content on our YouTube page. We've got a couple of videos that dive deeper into that for you. Nightly and weekend videos mostly focus on triggers and targets. So I do encourage you to watch the full video, because we don't just do the short term. We do all time frames. So it's got some pretty good information that we got for you. Let's go ahead and take a look at the agenda today. And again, thanks for tuning in. Apologies, I'm still a little bit under the weather. I'm not sure if it's the allergies or if I got a slight head cold, but not quite as bad as yesterday. So hopefully we'll get through the video without too many coughs or anything like that. But anyways, in today's video, we'll go ahead and recap the price action from today, Tuesday, April 21st. Before we zoom out, like we always do, take a look at the week, month, quarter, and year price action. Then we will zoom back in to look at what we call our 4-hour markers and the triggers and targets for Wednesday, April 22nd. And we'll also do a quick review of the triggers and targets for the week, month, quarter, and year as well. All right, so let's start out with the 5-minute chart like we always do. This is how we take advantage of our proven and repeatable strategy for early morning scalps or early entries into longer day trades. The method that we use is taking what we call the 4-hour markers: overnight high, previous high a day, previous low a day, and overnight low. Making sure those are on the chart before price opens that day. And then we take the opening print, or the first traded price of the day, and we mark that as well. Those are our guardrails essentially, right? So once we open, if we get higher lows at or above opening print, we want to look to get into calls, targeting overnight high and previous high a day. But if we get lower highs at or below opening print, then we want to look to get into puts, targeting overnight low and previous low a day. So you can see today was just another day of chop at the top, essentially. If you were a scalper, there were some opportunities for you on both sides of the equation. So hopefully everybody that was a scalper was able to capitalize on those. We tried to get the first scalp here. Basically broke even. We got this higher low right here at opening print. So, higher lows at or above opening print. We want to look to get into calls, targeting overnight high, which again, we gapped up. So, previous high a day is out of the picture, but overnight high is out there. And you can see we went up to overnight high, poked a little bit above it, and actually hit this 4-hour broadening formation that's right here, and rejected off of that, made this lower high, and then proceeded to make a lower low. So we entered here at the locking this in as the higher low right here. We entered it once we broke above the high of this candle. Obviously came back in and then exited at the low of this candle. Once this was locked, once this price action went down and locked this in as a lower high. So broke even there. Didn't get the downside action. Kudos to anybody who did. It would have been definitely based strictly off a location, right? Because that lower high, although it was a lower high, it was above opening print. So there was added risk there that was put into the equation. So if you did get that downside action, I'm definitely happy for you. Excuse me. But what we did is basically let that pullback give us the higher low on the 15-minute, right? So once keep our eyes on all time frames, and you can see here we got the higher low on the 15-minute. We went ahead and entered once price went above the high of this 2 down, which locked this in as a higher low. Pushed up, made this higher low, higher high. Now we did come down and make this lower low in comparison to this higher low here. But we didn't get out of that. And actually, we sold a quarter of our position here towards overnight high. Once we saw it start to struggle in this candle and then the second candle come up and start to wick, we went ahead and sold a quarter of the position. But we didn't sell the position when we came and made a lower low, because we knew we were just making a broadening formation essentially at the highs. You know, we got a lot of momentum with the bulls. So you can see this broadening formation that was formed. And we wanted to see how previous high day would treat us. Would it still act as support as it did earlier in the day? And it did. So luckily we were rewarded. We popped up, sold 50% of the total position. I'm sorry, of the original position here at overnight high again. So we had a quarter of the full position left. Came back up here once we got a little bit above the overnight high again. Went ahead and locked in some profit and just left some runners. Did have to swallow this big drop that we had, but you can see at the end of the day we pushed back up to just barely over opening print. So essentially a flat day overall, but did finish slightly green. So you know, we'll see what happens tomorrow. Don't think it's a bad thing to carry some call swings into the next day with, you know, the momentum that we have had. But, you know, we do want to recognize we have seen some slowdown, right? Yesterday was overall basically a flat day, even though intraday there was some movement, and today again was another flat day. Although there was intraday movement, but that is after a gap up. So overall, we did move up, even though we moved sideways during the day. So just want to keep all that in mind. Also, just looking at the 1 hour, right? Looking at the 1 hour, we got the higher low. Let's make this a little bigger for those on phone, right? Pushed up. Obviously, the first candle of the day gave us the higher high, came down, made the higher low, solidified the higher low here. Went 2 up to lock that in as a higher low. Made I think it was an equal high. Was this 99.84, 99.87? So it was slightly higher high. So it was continuing the trend, but we did come down and break this higher low. So again, a broadening formation that we've got here, right? If we just draw this here to there, and there to there, right? If we were to, you know, open up tomorrow or inside range, you know, we've got this broadening formation here. We'll see. It could, you know, we could push down even further and maybe the broadening formation broadens that way. But as of right now, we're just in a broadening formation on the 1 hour. And then on the 4 hour, we still haven't even put in the 2 down. I mean, it's pretty crazy. We still have no solid higher low. We've got a couple of soft higher lows with these engulfing candles here. But, you know, no concrete and solid higher low in the form of a 2 down. We just continue to push up. So still plenty of room to put in a higher low. In our opinion here, we can come down all the way to, what is this, 46.05 without putting in a lower low. I mean, that's half of where we're at right now, a little more than half. So a lot of room to pull back, right? If you don't want to look at the 4 hour, oops, not the week. Let's look at the 1 day. Let's get a cleaner chart here. There we go. And look, I mean, we've got a soft higher low here at 79, a soft higher low here at 52. But again, 46 is where we've got a concrete higher low. So that's a lot of thin structure to retrace, gaps to fill on the way down. So just, you know, keep that in mind that, you know, if the rug does get pulled, it could be pretty swift, you know, pretty fast and pretty violent. And it can still keep us in bullish territory with a huge pullback, right? Like even if we pull back to this 72 level, right? That's what, $30 essentially, but we're still above, you know, the previous high of the year. We're still essentially at over the previous all-time high. I mean, everything is bullish right here, right? There's not a lot to say. The video will be kind of quick again today because there's just not a whole lot to say, right? We've gone 2 up again on the week, right? We're running into this monthly broadening formation. We can say that. So, you know, that's one thing to kind of keep in the back of your mind. We are approaching the market maker's expected move high for the year. If you're not familiar with that, check out our Thursday night and weekend videos where we talk about market makers expected moves, and you can see how you can apply that to the year's move. It's a little late to chart that at this point. You kind of need to chart that at the beginning of the year. But this is the level that the market makers expected to be the high for the year. So we'll see what that all brings. But again, not a whole lot to say. RSI is a little elevated here, but there's no reason that it couldn't continue, right? We went from January to mid February, above 70. So that's what about 6 weeks. We're about 3 weeks into it, right? So still pretty bullish on the week, and there's plenty of room to pull back before making a lower low. The month, same thing. Made this higher low in March, and we've taken off since then. I mean, I don't know what else you guys want me to tell you, other than we've got some extended targets out here that we may even need to put some more out there. I did not think that we would be out here this far this quick, but we'll see. And again, quarter, same thing, super bullish. Had this one combo 2 down, combo 2 up that ran to STRAT, and we're blasting past it. Not much I can say there. The year, same thing. Went 2 down last year, 2 up, 2 down, 2 up reversal. Magnitude is the high of the candle to the left of the 2 down. We've reached that and blown past it. So like I said, there's not a whole lot I can say. I'm not sure what you guys would want me to say. If you want me to say more, and if you want me to stop rambling, because there's not much else to say, I'm going to stop at this point. But yeah, that's basically what we're faced with. It's a pretty bullish market and the face ripping rally that we've been running in, right? Let's take a look at how we will attack tomorrow, right? Starting first from the early morning scalp or early entry into day trade perspective, right? To do that, we want to make sure we have our 4-hour markers on the chart, right? That's previous high day, overnight high, overnight low, previous low a day. Currently, the overnight high and previous high a day are pretty close together, so we'll see if we get another one of those gap up situations tomorrow. But let's just say, for illustration purposes, that tomorrow's price opens somewhere in between overnight high, overnight low. We'll say up around this 98.99 area. It was a pretty good area of resistance in today's intraday and in Tuesday's intraday price action, right? So if we do open here, maybe we push up, and we maybe even push up all the way to overnight high before we get a pullback, but we get some type of higher low at or above the opening print, then we want to look to get into calls, targeting overnight high, previous high day. Obviously, if we get to those levels and have momentum or continue to push up, we can look at the triggers and targets on our higher time frames, which we'll take a look at here. But for the proven and repeatable strategy for early morning scalps and early entries into longer day trades, we want to look for that higher low at or above opening print to get into calls, targeting overnight high, previous high day. If we get price action that goes to the downside, maybe a bounce off of overnight low and push back up, but then a rejection at or below opening print, then we want to look to get into puts, targeting overnight low and previous low a day. Should we pass overnight low, don't just automatically assume we're going to get to previous low a day, right? We are in this uptrend on the 1 hour, the 4 hour, the day, on pretty much every time frame. So, we may pull back, but how far do we pull back is, the question. So just, be prepared to, take your profits or cut any losses if you didn't get a great entry, and just be ready for more upside action. I'm not saying that we're going to continue to shoot up $2-3 a day, but the last 2 days we've actually gone sideways all day. But yeah, just be aware. We've got this bullish consolidation at the top of a move right now. There's going to be some pullbacks, but there's a lot of buying of the dips, so just be careful. If you're buying puts, again, take your profits quick. I don't even know if I would sell calls right now. We're not, just because it's you can't really make a call on it right now, right? We've got to wait for some type of lower high on some type of time frame that's meaningful, right? 4 hour at the least before selling any calls. Prefer 1 day, 1 week feels way more safe at this point. I'm getting a lower high, so yeah, it's pretty bullish out there, right? But yeah, that's it. Higher lows at or above opening print. Look for calls, overnight high, previous high day. Other targets, lower highs at or below opening print. Look to get into puts, targeting overnight low and previous low a day. Let's go ahead and switch to the 4 hour real quick. Take a look there. Again, we just continue to get this two up continuation action. But yesterday's inside candle and the second 4 hour candle of the day does put us in a position where we could get a one combo two up, two down, right? Just like on the quarter, we had that one combo two down, two up. We could have the same in reverse, but just on this lower time frame, right? So if we go two down in tomorrow's price action, we get this two up, two down. Triggers at the low of this two up, exit at the low of the two down. But should we go below the two down, go below previous low a day, that triggers this one combo two up, two down. Magnitude being the low of the three, right? The low of the candle to the left of the one, right? So that would be down here at the $92 level. So could have a decent gain there if you get the entry right here about 96 and get the play down to 92. $4 a price action is pretty good. But look, we've got major fib extensions as support, last week's high as support, making it down here to 92, the odds I don't put too high. So we'll see. There's always room for catalysts. There's always room for tweets to come out and whatnot that can change the picture. But for right now, we're staying with the bullish momentum, knowing that we are hitting these levels of resistance, knowing that it doesn't mean we have to go down. We could just go sideways at this point, right? To the upside, right, we're just have a two up continuation, and then, right, our extended targets are out here for us. Just looking at the day, right, if we get the two up, two down, obviously we would have to go, not have to, but the magnitude of that move is the low of the two to the left of the two up, right? So down here again at this $92 level, but again, we've got these levels of support right here that we've got to get through in order to get down to that level. But yeah, we would have to have some type of catalyst to send us down that low. That's all I can really say about that. Let's just go ahead and switch to the notes. We looked at charts quite a bit. So again, for Wednesday, April 22nd, there'll be 176 trading days left in 2026, and the close price on Tuesday, Tuesday, April 21st was 98.09. We know that the week, month, quarter, and year are all green. Those are the levels that it would take to flip those different time frames red. And we know the market maker's expected move for the week was plus or minus $11.86 from the close on Friday, giving us an expected range of 106.54 to 82.82. Obviously, more towards the upside of that range, but there's still plenty left in that expected range, right? No gaps above, right? We're sitting at blue sky territory, all-time highs, but we do have plenty of gaps below, so we want to make sure we keep those in mind. Talking about the scalping perspective, we talked about looking for higher lows at or above opening print to get into calls, looking for overnight high and previous high day. If we get lower highs at or below opening print, then we want to look for puts targeting overnight low and previous low a day. On the 4 hour, if we do get some downside action, that'll give us a two up, two down at 96.27. Magnitude of that move is 95.32. That would then trigger a one combo two up, combo two down. Magnitude of that move is down there at 92.03. But again, we've got those levels of support out there. So price could, even if we get that pullback, we could get a bounce or even just sideways action at one of these intermediate levels before actually completing that strat. To the upside, we would have a two up continuation triggering at 99.95. Got a couple extended targets there for you. On the day, if we go down two down on the day, that's a two up, two down triggering at 95.32. Magnitude of that move is 92.03. So again, pretty decent sized move, but so we've got a couple of intermediate targets here. At the same time, if we get some type of catalyst that goes ahead and sends us to magnitude, and we've got continued momentum to the downside, here's an extended target for you as well on the day to the downside. But if we get more continuation to the upside with the two up, that triggers at 99.95. And again, we've got some extended targets out here for you. There's no reversal, so there's no magnitude for those moves. It's just extended targets, right? On the week, we've gone two up, reached a couple of our targets, got a couple more that are out there. If we are going to go red 3 on the week, we've got to get below 75.25, so quite a ways to go before we would do that. So not really on the board right now. And again, on the month, already ran the two up, two down strat to completion. Quarter, already ran the two up. Well, there was no strat on reversal on the quarter. It just triggered the two up continuation. And then on the year, we did trigger the two down, two up, but already reached strat completion on that as well. So the higher time frames are just going to rely on these lower time frames at this point. So just make sure you're making good choices in your day-to-day trades. If you're swinging, make sure you've got plenty of time, and just monitor your risk to reward, right? But that's basically what we've got for today's video. It's everything from a scalping perspective all the way through the 1 year chart. Try to jam in as much information as possible without taking up too much of your time. So we do hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did enjoy the video, a thumbs up does go a long ways, right? We're just trying to help the channel grow. It's a channel full of free information, no membership fees or anything like that. So a like, it doesn't cost you anything. Doesn't probably do anything for your life, but it does help the channel grow and reach more people. So that is our goal, to try and help the everyday retail trader get a little bit of that money that the market makers are out there making, and add a little bit of value to your trading plan. Again, we don't expect anybody to adopt our whole trading strategy, but if part of our strategy can be added to your strategy to make it even better, that's all we're here for. So we'll continue to pump these videos out every day. They're not crazy deep dives into things, but I think it's more than enough information for you to make some pretty informed trades and really establish your own trading pattern. And that's, again, what we're here for. So thumbs up goes a long way. Appreciate those who give us those thumbs up. If you got a comment, let us know. We respond generally within 24 hours, but we do respond to all comments. So reach out to us if you have any questions, or if you have just anything to say. But yeah, we'll go ahead and wrap it up at this point, like we always do. If you're watching this Tuesday night, we hope you get some good rest tonight. Wake up refreshed tomorrow morning. If you're watching this Wednesday morning or Wednesday during the day, we hope you got some good rest last night, and we look forward to getting out there and trading with you.